Hello, I am here at Turf Moor, where most other people have left, but the lawnmowers have stopped, so that's good. Welcome on this Tuesday evening. Here's the scoreline. And yeah, the game was decided by a Jay Rodriguez penalty in the 80-something minute. It was as a result of a Connor Roberts cross being cut out by, I think it was this cross, being cut out by Grant Hanley, who sort of turned his back on the cross and his arm crept up, and it's pretty straightforward. I mean, even Isaac Hayden was talking to us afterwards saying, "Oh, I don't know about what is the handball rule these days?" Well, that is handball as far as I'm concerned. He turned his back on the ball and his arm ended up and blocking the ball. So I didn't really see much argument in it. And Jay Rodriguez stuck away a brilliant penalty. And that was enough to separate these two teams, which for a lot of the first half looked like it was going to take a lot less than that to separate the two teams, because there was a chasm between them. This was certainly the first half was entirely how I expected it to be. And I'm not really going to go through the game and the incidents necessarily, because they are there. And there's probably a slight subjectivity in terms of what you'll hear from different people about tonight. It's raining, by the way. It's pretty miserable now. Hopefully this broadcast holds up. But yeah, I think I sort of said a bit of it on the On The Ball podcast on Monday night. But Burnley are a joy to watch. They play some really lovely football. There was an energy around the place. Vincent Kompany has obviously been in the job only since the summer. This stadium is pretty tidy. The supporters were up and really enjoying it. And having watched this 90 minutes, it's really weird. I'm desperately trying not to get drawn into it. So off the back of this 90 minutes and what they're doing and how they're doing it, to me, they should win this division. They're 7 points ahead of Norwich now. We're a third through a third of the season. I asked Dean Smith, "Are you a bit worried about that?" He's like, "No, it was all right. We closed a bigger gap than that in my time, including at Villa," which is great. And, Norwich have got players out in some areas. And he did feel that, he said he'd like to play this game with a fully fit team here. I don't know if that was really much of the issue in terms of fitness of the players. Just a style Burnley play. They're a joy to watch in how they make things happen and how they work the ball. They press pretty high and they win the ball back quickly. So they do keep you away from your goal, from their own goal, from their goal. They play some lovely stuff. They've got a really energetic team. They're young, they're buzzy, and they've got some really technically good players. But they put in the effort too. There's just a good energy and they're quite a nice balance to them. And they're everything Norwich aren't now, and they're everything maybe Norwich were 4 years ago. But the reason I'm slightly hesitating is because actually, they created some really lovely opportunities early in the first half, but actually the second half of the first half, they were a bit stodgier. They didn't create a lot. And it was similar in the second half. They didn't really have many clear-cut opportunities. And it felt a bit like they were sort of a striker or something up top missing to really be dominant. Because I think if you put Teemu Pukki, for example, in that Burnley side, you'd be looking at runaway winners of the division. They've got so much quality all over the place. But they were a little bit blunt up top. So that's why I'm slightly reserving judgment on the fact that they'll just be, brilliant. And they've got young players, so there could be fluctuations in that. It's also very interesting that when Burnley did go 1-0 up, they're unbeaten here, but they've drawn 4 of their 7 games before tonight, and they've given away a few last-minute equalisers and things like that. So as soon as they went 1-0 up, Vincent Kompany went to a 4-5-1 or 5-4-1, in fact, 5-4-1, really wanted to just sit there. They almost invited Norwich on, and that was when Norwich had their best chance, just after they'd scored. And there was a palpable nervousness around the place. And, that will maybe go the more they pick up results like this and go forwards and develop. Because I see a team that's learning and developing and, I don't know, just you end up, I've been waiting for it. And I think tonight I ended up at a place where I thought, yeah, this is a team that will finish above Norwich this season. So, yeah, 5 minutes in, and I've only really spoken about Burnley. Yeah, that's entirely deliberate. I mean, look, there is great credit here on Sam McCullum, who had 1 day's worth of training, and all of a sudden he's starting and playing a full 90 minutes here after being out with a broken foot. He's the only fit left back because Dimi Yanulis cracked a rib at Sheffield United, and that strikes me as a sort of injury that will put him out for a while. That's a horrible injury to get in terms of repairing it. When that a cracked rib, that's going to take a while, and you can't really protect yourself from that either. So that's a real worry in terms of when Dimi comes back from that, and I don't know what the time frame is. So Sam McCullum, brilliant effort. What a guy, and he did well. Likewise, Jonathan Tompkinson. That is his. He is someone who is stepping up and making good strides whenever he's getting the opportunity. And again tonight, he defended pretty well there alongside Grant Hanley against someone like Jay Rodriguez. I was kind of a bit wincy at that, but he's done really well this evening. He's a young guy. He's got great promise. He showed some of that in pre-season, and tonight really backed that up. So that's all good. That's all good stuff. I don't think that's going to appease anyone who's sitting here wanting Norwich to go up this year. And they did work really. They did work hard, and they did. But it's just so uninspiring, and the disconnect is there, and I've spoken about it all the way through. And there are a lot of supporters who want that to be the end of Dean Smith, and it just is detached to the reality of where the club are at. I just don't see the club making that change, and they may well see that Dean is the man to lead things forward. It needs a spark, it needs something, but I'm finding it very hard to describe where Norwich are at, because this was even had Norwich nicked the point or nicked a goal and got ahead, I don't know if anyone would have been happy with it. I mean, the way end looked pretty miserable. They couldn't have got out quickly enough at the end of the game, and just all the energy that was here for Burnley is just there's none of it around Norwich at the moment. And it's tricky because I think we know what we're watching, and that doesn't mean they won't be there competing for the top 6, although they're out of it at the moment. And Dean Smith knows they need to pick up some points. I mean, Carrow Road is going to be fun on Saturday because they have to win that game just in terms of the atmosphere. But I just wonder if, a bit like last season, I mean, Norwich were getting played off the park in the first 20 minutes. It was kind of a bit awkward to see, but you do wonder if I don't know whether we're going to be seeing apathy rather than anger. I don't know where that sliding scale will be if things don't improve, but maybe they will. Dean Smith knows they've got 4 games until the World Cup break, and he knows that they need to pick up some points. But it's hard for me in this position because I know that people are not really willing to engage with me when I do my job. So it's I don't know what to say. Yeah, you guys and girls will want accountability. I don't know where that comes from because everyone sort of shut themselves away since last season. So I'll just keep calling it as I see it. We'll have to see what the ambition is and what they want if this all continues. Because the proof of that particular pudding will be in the eating of the decisions. And you know what? I am going to amuse myself with dodgy metaphors. Doors are getting closed and things, so I probably should leave. I don't think there's much else to say really tonight. I really enjoyed watching what Burnley were doing. I didn't really enjoy watching what Norwich were trying to do, which is a shame. Max Aarons came off with sort of looking a bit groggy and concussion, potentially. I don't know. I don't want to label it. I don't know if that's what it was, but he came off, and that was a shame. Ben Gibson was also missing because he's got a stiff knee, and that's been scanned. So that's obviously a worry because Jonathan Tompkinson is the only other fit centre back. So this lot maybe will have to go again. They've got another midweek game after Stoke, which is Queen's Park Rangers at Carrow Road. I mean, that is a really tough game at the moment as well. Before they then go to Rotherham, which I'm actually missing that game. And then it's Middlesbrough at home to wrap up the pre-World Cup fun. And that will be halfway through the season. So there we go. Yeah, I think that wraps everything up. It was entirely predictable. It didn't go very well. Norwich had the odd chance, but they didn't have enough. It's not good enough. So they're going to have to think about how they're going to sort that out going forwards. With Stoke at Carrow Road and Alec Neil on Saturday. I've got lots of work to do, so I'm going to head off. Have a lovely evening. I'm going to get rid of that. Take care of yourselves. Be kind. Have fun. I still love my job. Don't worry about me. And onwards. Listen to On the Ball if you haven't. The podcast was live on Monday night. And yeah, have fun in the meantime. I will speak to you soon. Check out theathletic.com for stuff of writings. And laters. He says, trying to find the video. Where's the video gone? There's the video. Bye.